Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Treasures and another episode of What? Not Another Reselling Podcast. Today, we're going to be focusing on how to launch and grow a focused live selling business in a single niche or category. What we do is we focus on live selling on all of the different platforms. We don't edit. We come out raw. We don't try to sugarcoat or blow smoke. We try to bring you the truth about live selling.
Yes. Today, our guests are Steven and Betsy. They are Michigan Grail Seekers on Whatnot. And we just had the honor of meeting them about 2 weeks ago at this point. They were so awesome to sit and talk to. And they actually inspired the topic of this particular podcast because they are trying to move into a one niche on Whatnot.
Yep. And they're dang good at it.
Yes, they are.
So
Thank you.
Briefly introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Steve. This is Betsy, my wife. And we're Michigan Grail Seekers.
Yep, we are just a husband and wife team where we're practically empty nesters. All of our kids are independent, but we do have one still living at home.
Exactly like us.
So we like to spend our time going out and doing our favorite thing, antique shopping, and looking for Breyers in the wild. I've been collecting Breyers since I was 5 years old, and it's been several decades. And my house is basically a museum for Breyers. So
your house is beautiful that we've seen behind you and Whatnot.
And your collection of Breyer Horses is phenomenal, guys. Yep. If you check out their shows, wow.
Yeah. So we do house tours of our shows. Like that's kind of a kickoff. We start off in the spare bedroom that we call the museum. That's got like actual like showcases in it behind glass. And then we move around basically every room in our house, but the bathrooms have Breyers in them. So, So we go through every room and show the collection. And Steve even has his cabinets too. So, but they're technically
Can you imagine what their homeowner's insurance would be for just covering just out of curiosity, what would you say the value of your, in a roundabout, the value of your collection, just your personal collection?
60 to 70,000.
Oh my gosh.
That's incredible.
We have a lot of horses that sell between $1,000 and $2,000.
That's awesome.
A little higher at this point.
Yeah, we really haven't sat down and figured it out since we've been adding more. We've bought several estates where people will call us because we run a couple of Facebook groups on Breyers, and people will call us or message us out of there and go, "Hey, so-and-so talk to me about this estate sale. Is it okay if I give these people your information? Because I don't know enough about this stuff." And then normally they'll call us or send us a message and we'll end up talking to them. And then we're always right up front with them. We'll be like, this is what you have. This is the value of what you have. I can either make you an offer to drive and get them, or I can get you to the connections to be able to sell them, but then you're going to have to ship them and pack them and everything else. So
right.
A lot of times they're like, well, give me an offer. And we normally work something out because they just don't want to deal with it. So we've been out to northern Wisconsin and bought an estate out there.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, we bought 2 estates in Wisconsin. We bought a huge estate out of Iowa that was just ungodly. I mean, that gave us so many horses. And then last year we went out to Connecticut and bought an estate. And then
imagine that, horses in Iowa.
Yep. And then we've done like estate auctions down in Indiana, in Michigan and stuff. So it's fun.
Awesome.
We had never really been to a live auction before. And it's addictive getting into the auction scene and whatnot.
Oh, believe me. Okay. We did one on our honeymoon. All right. And you get into that, I call it a shark feeding frenzy.
Oh, it is.
Like you see something and you top that thing off in your head and like, it might be $20. And next thing you know, your hand is going up at 160.
Yeah.
Not that happened to anybody on their honeymoon.
That was you.
That was me.
It was funny. We're down in the one in Indiana, and They have the main auctioneer, and then they have all the people around that point at the people that are bidding. And the guy that was in front of our group was just eating chips and goofing around. And all of a sudden they're like, all right, now we're going to move on to the flockies and wagons. And I looked at the guy and said, hey, it's time to pay attention because this shit's about ready to get real. Because when you get into flockies, the highest one sold for $1,000 down there for one horse.
Yeah, and they
Oh
were
my God.
they were kind of freaking out.
They're like,
what's going on here?
They're like, why is this horse going so high? I'm like, I told you this is about ready to get real.
Wow, that's unbelievable. That's just literally knowing your stuff. And based on your name, we're guessing that you're based in Michigan, which we know that they are because we literally just met and had dinner, which was, it's so great to meet people like that. And people that are as knowledgeable as they are about their particular niche or their category is just fascinating. And literally they are trying to help Whatnot develop a category based on their expertise.
Yep.
I mean, that to me is just, it's phenomenal. It's something that people need to be paying attention to, especially those of you at Whatnot who watch our podcast, which I don't think any of them do.
Yet.
Well, all right. So we're going to get on to some questions and answers. We call this segment, We Want Answers, because we haven't had anything better to call it yet. So we're going to start off with our very first question, and it's one that we ask normally all of our guests.
How did you start reselling?
So it was weird because I think we kind of fell into Whatnot like at the perfect time in with a bunch of other people that just fell into it. And we ended up meeting like Just Peachy, Martha Jane, Great Lakes Storage Raider. They were all fairly new when we were fairly new, and we were buying from them and talking to them. And then we actually started Whatnot because one of my friends does it, and he said, hey, there's a Breyer show coming up on Whatnot. And we're like, okay.
We're always looking for new resources
to find Breyers.
Right.
So we did that one show, and then it was funny because I'm watching people buy the cheap horses at high prices, and the high prices horses we were buying at cheap prices. And I looked at Betsy.
Well, don't you love that?
I go, these people know nothing about Breyers on this app.
Right.
So
That's awesome.
we decided that we're talking to Great Lakes, is a good friend of ours. We're talking to him, and he goes, well, you guys should start doing Breyer shows. You guys really should, teach people, coach people, show off your collection. He goes, you guys could really do a lot with that on Breyer.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. And
we have a big following on Facebook and have sold through that platform. So we were open to looking into what this Whatnot was all about. So it took a little bit, just learning the app and stuff, and then having the encouragement of our Whatnot friends. Yep. We just decided to give it a try, and we're growing. So
every time we do a Breyer show, there's more and more people coming to it. And now we have other people that have started selling Breyers and doing Breyer shows because we started doing them, and they're like, oh, we appreciate you guys doing this. We hope that Breyer will listen to you guys, or Whatnot will listen to you guys and, do something with this. And all that we can do is just keep trying to push it forward to them.
So how long were y'all selling on Facebook before you discovered Whatnot? Is that something you've been doing for a long time?
We've actually been on eBay and Facebook forever selling.
Okay.
Okay.
We quit doing eBay when eBay sold and they changed everything. And then I'm like, we're done on there because they got rid of PayPal and everything. And then you had to go sign up for this new method and everything. I'm like, we're done. Yeah. So we quit selling there and just pretty much started just all Facebook selling at that point.
Right.
Okay.
So have you always been like resellers, or was that something that happened out of a necessity or something?
No, we've always done it. We've never done it to the extent we do it now. But we've always liked going out on the hunt and finding stuff at a reasonable price that we can offer somebody at a reasonable price.
It all starts with garage sales.
Right.
When you have your garage sales and then you learn, we can reach more people on the social
Right.
network. So I would have to say, yeah, we've always
done it.
done that.
Okay. You're going to love this question because I think everybody's already going to know the answer to this one. But why did you choose to focus on one niche rather than selling a variety of products?
We've tried. When we first started selling, we actually did variety shows. We would watch people and go, oh, they're selling this, we can do this. And we would go and source that stuff, and then we'd try selling it and wouldn't get nothing out of it. And
we find out, like most people,
right,
you have to build
you have to build, you have to
your audience,
get your audience engaged on what you're selling. So, and when you're a small seller or a new seller, and you're watching like other people and they're selling stuff at higher prices, and then you're trying to go and buy it and sell it, you're not making any money. So we were to the point where, all right, well, we're doing this just for fun. So at first we were just breaking even. And I'm like, well, whatever, it's fun. We're having fun doing this. But then when we started moving into the Breyer section of it, we learned, well, there's actually a lot of people that want to learn about Breyers, and there's a lot of people on here that are interested in Breyers. So if you actually go in and punch in Breyer Horses from where it was when we first started to where it is now, when you punch it in, it's probably tripled the amount of horses you can find on Whatnot right now. And people doing shows, because no one was doing Breyer shows. And like I said, the only reason we found out about Whatnot was because my one friend seen a guy that found some in a storage unit, and he was going to do a Breyer show. But they had no clue what they had either.
And it's neat finding, it's neat having people come into the show that say, hey, I remember collecting these as a kid, and I'd like to get back into it.
Yeah.
Finding
now you do consider yourself to be a niche seller, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Because I have seen you sell other things too.
We do sell other things, like when we do raid trains and stuff like that, because in a raid train, the Breyer people aren't there.
Right.
So
exactly.
I mean, there might be a couple, but when we do raid trains, we more or less do them to have fun. I really don't care if I sell anything, honestly. I just want to have fun and, talk about things and stuff. And
it's good to have the variety.
But it's good to have the variety when you do the raid trains, just because you never know who's in the raid train. And I don't think niche items are ideal for raid trains.
100%. That's what we do too. We think on a raid train, bringing something that's going to appeal to a wide audience. Because
we do raid trains for two reasons. One is to either grow and get our name out there.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Or two, to make money. Now there are raid trains like our primetime spotlight show, which will be on tonight at
when
10
you're
o'clock?
watching this. We're on at 10 o'clock this
10
week.
o'clock, because this is going to come out on Sunday. So we're watching this on Sunday. So 10 o'clock tonight, definitely come and check out our...
That's a selling show for us.
That's a selling show.
Right.
But we call it a money show. There are other shows that we run that we're going to just try to build and build and build and build and build. And if we make money, that's great. But this raid train, we're already established on the raid train. So we know...
we did a train once that we had to dress like a cow. I mean, we did not enter that train expecting to make any money. We just wanted to dress like a cow and have fun.
If I'm not mistaken, Steve has dressed up also.
Oh, I've dressed up plenty of times. Are you guys doing the giveaway one on Friday? The pool
I don't think we're on that one. No.
You gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it though. You at least gotta watch ours.
Well, we will definitely do that. We will definitely watch that.
We're gonna be doing some funny stuff on that one. So
awesome.
and I don't mind. I mean, my theory is, with this app, if you can't dress up and have some fun and laugh at yourself, I mean, life's too short. Have some fun.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things about live selling that makes live selling so much different than static selling.
I thought I would mention this in case anyone is watching this right when it comes out. This is coming out the day that Michigan Grail Seekers is helping to host a cookie jar battle train.
That's right.
So if you're watching this right when it came out, head over to Whatnot.
Buy our cookie jar.
Look at Cookie Jar Battle. It is co-hosted by them and awesome cookie jars all day long.
Oh, there's some really fire cookie jars. So it's going to be quite.
One we bought this weekend go.
Oh
we're going to add a second one.
Yeah, we have actually. We're going to be adding about 5. We have about 5 cookie jars. But you know, the hardest thing about finding a really good cookie jar is one without any chip in it.
Right.
We bought, I think, 8 cookie jars, and
like that.
about probably 5 or 6 of them have a little chip in it. One of them has a complete break in it, and the pieces were in the cookie jar.
Oh,
We
And
missed it.
We missed it. It's like, yeah, we're really bad pickers.
That was the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was
we
the end of the day.
we got lucky with ours because it was funny because I was going to help Great Lakes clearing out a storage unit in Chicago, and we're talking about it on the way. And I said, well, I got a co-host, so my cookie jar can't qualify now. So I guess I'm not really on a hunt for a cookie jar, but I need to find one to run. And he goes, yeah, I never find cookie jars in units. And then as soon as we open the door, there's this brand new 1996 cookie jar sitting in brand new in the box, still tags on it and everything.
Wow.
And he's like, here, you can have it, run it. He goes, I'm not doing
awesome.
the battle.
And then, it turns
And
out
then-
he's doing the battle.
Then later he came back and said, I think I want to do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna
Well, I
be-
need to make sure we go in his show and say, I thought you weren't doing this. Drew."
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and saying, is that your cookie jar or is that Steven and Betsy's cookie
Yeah.
jar?
No, he
So-
got his from a guy out of Grand Rapids. He's got a really fire one. And that's
That is
probably the
awesome.
only reason he's doing it is because he got that super duper
Right.
awesome cookie jar. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And then,
I think so.
and then we've been doing like battles of the best stuff and
Mhm.
just
Love those.
just
Those are
having fun. That's all we're doing is just having fun.
Well, if someone is thinking about getting into Whatnot or another live selling platform and they want to be a niche seller, how would you suggest that they identify a profitable niche for live selling?
Basically, it's what is your passion? We have the niche of the Breyers because I've been surrounded by them my entire life. I know them almost inside out, So you gotta pick something that you're passionate about and go with that, and then just be persistent. I'm a big advocate of the raid trains because that helps you get followers. It's
100%.
an easy way to ease into Whatnot because it can be so intimidating. So having something already set up for you, you're in a designated time slot, you have people coming to you, and then you can in turn bring those people to the next person. And we, every time we do a raid train, we end up with maybe anywhere from 10 to 25 followers, new followers.
The most
Right.
we've had is 50.
So it's being patient and finding your people. Focus on your passion, find your people.
They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
I mean, we've been looking at the Wades lately, and there's actually niche sellers on there that just sell Wades and stuff.
Wow.
And we only collect the horse Wades, but
but we
but
find so many neat
we've been
ones.
finding so many neat Wades lately that we're like, well, maybe we should try doing a Wade show. And then when we do the Battle of the Best, the Wades came out with like the Noah Ark series, and it has the ceramic ark and stuff. And they came out with the Pet Shop series that has a pet shop building, and then all these little ones. Well, we got the Pet Shop building with all the little Wade guys or pets, and that's what we're going to run in the Battle of the Best.
Oh, that is
That is
awesome.
cool.
I
And
know
they're
we're not
battling
gonna-
us in Battle of the Best also because we're in
Yeah,
that too.
I seen your Roadrunner.
Yes.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
always go into it with the attitude of, I don't have to be the winner of this.
Right.
That's a goal, but if you focus on that, it's not going to make an enjoyable show. We just go in.
No.
And
Yeah, I know, we
this
hate
is
that
what
show.
I have.
If-
We hope you like it.
Yeah.
I'm just
And if
kidding.
you
We
have
love,
fun-
we
We
love
love the
that.
Battle of the Best.
If you have fun and you don't get too obsessed with winning and you're going to be the winner. You're going to
Well,
gain
what's funny-
followers. You're going to meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna
You
make some
win by
money
just
too.
I was gonna say I think the highest we've gotten was 4th place once, and that's not our highest selling Battle of the Best item. We've sold an item for more, but just the competition that month was a little stronger.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got 5th. We've been at 5th.
Mhm.
We've only done 2. The first
Okay.
one we got 11th in the mugs, and then in the t-shirt one we got 5th.
Okay.
And because we got 5th, now we get VIP for the rest of the year.
Love that VIP. That's
So
that's killer.
Yes.
Right.
What's the biggest advantage and or the risk of sticking to a single category?
the advantage is you know the product and you know the value of the product, and you don't have to worry about, well, if I buy it for this amount, am I going to make my money back?
Right.
Right.
You
And
know,
a perk is that people come to you with
Right.
things, and so you kind of get first dibs on some neat stuff too.
Okay.
I don't know, the disadvantage I guess would be if no one ever came to your shows.
Maybe that your audience is somewhat limited.
Right.
It is. But I look at it this way: when we do a regular show or a raid train, like we were on one last night with CG, and we had 40 to 50 people in our room the whole time.
Right.
And we sold a handful of items, which is fine because, like I said, we don't do it to sell items. We just do it to meet people, get followers. But then there's people that are going, oh my God, look at that horse collection behind you.
Exactly.
And then we start talking about that a little bit, get them to come to one of our horse shows. Hey, if you want to see more of this collection, come to our horse show. You're not seeing anything, you know, and then we gain followers that way. And then once you get them in the horse shows and you start showing them and talking to them, that's where you start gaining your people. And in the horse shows, we don't carry a huge room. We might have 15 to 20 people in there, but they're constantly buying because that's what they're there for.
Right.
That's a great one.
And you can have another room. Like I was telling you, I've been watching some of these wage shows just to kind of learn about them. And they'll have 8 to 10 people in there, but almost everyone they put up is getting bought because that's what those 8 to 10 people are there for.
Right.
We've talked about that before when we'll do a audio cassette show. We may only have 10 people in that room the whole time, but all 10 of those people are buying. They're looking for that thing. They're talking. And it's actually a more active room than sometimes when I have 30 people in there and we're selling this, that, and the other.
And by the way, just to let everybody know that if you are watching this and you are new to Jack's Treasures and you're new to Michigan Grail Seekers, there will be a link there down below in the description so that you can come and check out their shows on Whatnot.
Yes.
Okay?
And you should.
Yes, definitely.
To see that collection, if nothing else.
Yes. We will have link down there for all of their spots. I'm also going to link in their Facebook. Okay. Because you said that do you still sell on Facebook?
Yeah. Yep. We have 2 sites in there.
Okay.
That we have
so I'm going to link them both.
We have 2 groups that we admin, and then there are several groups within the model horse community where we sell items, and I actually have one up for bids right now. So before Breyers.
And there you go, right there. And we're going to link them down below. So hopefully you guys are going to gain some subscribers or followers who are watching this show, who any of them are interested in horses or niche selling whatsoever, because that is, to me, it's fascinating to be able to say that, because it's so hard for us sometimes when we open up a storage unit and I'm selling something and I have no idea what it is or the value of it or anything like that.
Didn't you say you were going to do the next one?
No. I wanted to talk about that I was going to put them the links down below.
How do you source inventory for a specific niche without overbuying or running out of inventory?
So that's the tricky part, because I mean, like, you really gotta, with the Breyers, you really gotta watch a lot of different areas. We're lucky enough that we know a lot of people in the Breyer community, and like we went down to a show earlier this year in April to a Breyer show where they judge your horses. There's model horse shows, and when you go to those, they judge your horses just like a real horse. So when you put your horse out in the show ring, the judge comes over and they look at everything on that horse just like it's a real horse. Well, because we know so many people that do that and we do that, they sell horses there too. So like one of the girls we knew was down there and she's like giving us really good deals on all these Breyers. And then at the end of the show, I went over there and was talking to her and she's like, just give me $25 and take that whole box because I don't want to take it home.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It's, you got to know, sometimes you got to know people in that community to get the niche items at a decent price. Like when we go down to Kentucky, we're going to be down there in July, and we're going to actually do a live show from the Clarion Hotel. And the Clarion Hotel is one of those big Breyer places, buy, sell, trade.
Right.
And it's a 600-room hotel, and 95% of the rooms will be selling horses out of their rooms.
Wow.
So, like, we have a room there with some friends. We don't stay there. We basically go there, move all the hotel furniture to the corner, set shelves floor to ceiling. We'll have probably 1,500 Breyers in that room for sale all weekend.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And it's like you can't even walk down the hallways because, I mean, everybody's just so crammed in there trying to get rooms. You have some rooms where people only let 4 people in at a time to watch their horses, so no one's stealing them, because it's just crazy down there.
Right. And they have body boxes too.
And they have body boxes,
so
and
you can
cheaper
find some
models.
really nice models that are a little rougher condition that just need a little bit of fixing up. And they just have $3 or $5 a body on there. So it's just knowing your product, knowing the values of those products, and then finding out, yard sales are a great place to find.
Or marketplace.
Some really neat items. If you're a niche seller, you want to focus on one thing, start off with your local garage sales and see if those are in the area. And if that's coming up a bust, then look online, Facebook Marketplace. You just got to kind of delve into the category you're looking for and then do your homework.
And I think most people that want to be niche sellers already have that item that they're passionate about. They might not just know how to take it to the next level.
Right. Yeah, it's something else. When you were talking about this, when we were having dinner the other day, I was fascinated when you were talking about the hotel and just the amount of rooms and just the amount of people that are going to that. And again, you're talking to somebody who didn't know what a Breyer was.
I barely
knew what a horse was. I mean, I grew up in South Florida on the beach down in Fort Lauderdale. And so, I see horses on my way to the beach, as we drive by these things, and it's like, what the heck is that thing over there? But, just hearing about that stuff. And I did want to mention one other thing. Betsy is extremely talented.
She is.
Yes.
She draws and does some amazing things with some of these horses. She was showing us some of the pictures. Tracy's even got
adapted
a rock, which, by the way, our rock is in our shows, but you have to look very, very closely. But the rock is in all of our shows. It's in our background, and it is there. And if anybody pointed it out, we would be like, yes, we got that from Betsy from Michigan Grail Seeker and stuff. Tracy doesn't even know where it is and stuff, but she found it.
I see it.
See, so now you know
it's
exactly
in the eyeball
where
of
it
the
is.
dragon.
There you go. Okay. And she is super, super talented. Okay. What strategies have worked best for attracting and keeping an engaged audience in your niche?
I believe it's because with the Breyers, there is so much to learn about them. Mm-hmm. Every time we do a Breyer show, we talk about something different. We've talked about shrinkies. We've talked about bloaties. And people are like, chalkies, just different different things. And people are like, oh my God, I never knew that. We talk about how to clean them.
Like me right now.
Yeah. We talk about how to clean them. We do different things on each show, or we talk about like one model that they've made. Like when you look at the collection, like, well, you got 6 of this horse. Well, I have 6 of that horse, but if you look at each one of those horse, either the mane, tail, or mane and tail are different because they switch it up a little bit. So her goal was to basically find every single variant of every Breyer made.
Yeah.
And have one of each of those.
A lot of collectors that have collections bigger than mine, they have what are called congas.
Right.
And I I don't like to be a conga collector, but I do have one mold that I do conga, and that's basically where you take it's the mold called Fireheart, and it originally came in a particular color. Well, Breyer will take that mold and they will put another paint job on it, and those are called the model. Right. So I have like about 6 or 7 models of Fireheart, and that's called a conga. But basically the rest of my collection is a mold variation. I don't like to conga models just because my house would be so overflowing. Right. We'd have to move. And so I keep my collection small by
wait. I love the small and air quotes. Just out of curiosity, how many horses are in your collection?
We have over 2,000.
Oh my gosh.
Small.
That is awesome.
Small. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you look at the people that conga molds and they have like a 5,000 horse collection, it's because they will have like one mold and Breyer painted it 35 to 40 different colors. Well, because they conga, they got to have every single color that was made.
Wow.
So we didn't want to go that extreme.
That was never my
But,
intention, but I love the Fireheart mold,
right.
So he kind of became an accidental conga. But other than that, pretty much all of my the rest of my models, with a few exceptions, are not the same. So
okay.
Another thing that kind of I think holds some of our viewers is when we do our giveaways for our Breyer show, we actually give away stablemate, which are the 3-inch Breyer models. Oh. So that's our giveaway. We don't just give away, a gift card or a
right, like us.
Well,
you can say it, Betsy. Don't worry, it's okay.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying we have a little bit more substantial gift for our viewers. So
yeah, and I think niching your gift to a niche show is super a special thing to do. It's a great idea to do something like that, because it definitely lets those people know that, hey, I'm getting something I really want, okay, as opposed to, people that get the Starbucks gift card from us who don't drink coffee, Right. Yes, Ken, I am talking to you. Okay.
Well, and then we get messages after the show from people that are like super special, because they're like this. Like we had this one lady contact. She goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "I've been watching your shows with my daughter, and we both love Breyers, and we're learning so much together." So that kind of makes you feel good and want to make you keep going, and
Yeah, we love our clients. I guess that's what you call our viewers.
Yes, yeah.
Well, your niche is growing. You've mentioned that there's a lot more people on Whatnot selling Breyers right now. Yeah. How do you handle the competition as other people get into it?
We don't really call it competition. We call it sharing the love. I'll go into their show
expanding.
Yeah, because the more people you can get to do it, the more Whatnot's going to go, oh, wow, maybe there's something with this. And to us, it's not a competition of who can sell what the highest. It's more of, let's help each other.
From the person who does Battle of the Best and is hosting a cookie jar one. So in other words, what he's saying is go ahead and bid on ours and make sure that we win, because we are cutthroat competition guys.
So
battles are different than shows.
Absolutely.
Battles are battles. But so we'll go into new sellers shows and we'll buy stuff from them. And, and it's funny because as people gotten to know us, and Monkey Stash found a locker full of Breyers, and we were on her show when we were called in by another person when she found them and said, hey, it's funny because now when people see Breyers in shows, they tag us right away. And they're like, Michigan Grail Seeker Breyers, and so we were tagged into the show and we went in there and we started watching and nobody knew. So Betsy started telling them what they have. That one's this, that one's that. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, who are you guys? And then all of a sudden, we started getting all these followers. Well, they're running through all these horses. And then all of a sudden, one comes up. We're like, ooh, that's a good one. So we'd start bidding on it. As soon as we start bidding, everybody be like, "Oh, they're bidding. That must be a good one." Swipe, 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 swipe.
I've got to say, at least y'all get tagged for horses. We get tagged for tacos and drug paraphernalia. So, you know.
And we don't really do either one.
Yeah. So
we've made that impression.
But we'll go into new seller shows, and they'll always be like, we'll buy a horse from them or a couple horses from them, and they'll be like, "Oh, you guys are just pity buying," you know, and we're like, "No, we're just here to support you and help you and have fun." And, you know, as soon as we pop in their show and they see our name, they're all excited that we're even in their show. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys are here," you know, and I'm like, okay.
And I don't have Breyers.
We're nothing special.
Yeah,
that I know
we're
of.
just people, you know.
I actually think I have one on eBay that was very low dollar. It's been sitting there for a couple of years, but maybe I need to bring it to
We'll bring it to one of our Whatnot shows.
There you go.
And Betsy and Steve can tell us what we actually
maybe
have.
they'll pity buy it from us.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and with her doing the
I think they did with the shirt.
So with her doing the customizing of Breyers, we can also, you know, buy a body that no one else wants because it's got a broken ear or a broken leg, and it's nothing for her to fix them and repaint them and give them new life. And
never ever throw away
a broken model.
The only models that need to get thrown away are shrinkies that are beyond the point of no return. And if you want to know what a shrinky is, you have to watch our show.
I'm curious now.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So she's throwing out. Betsy knows clickbait, and she just
there you go.
That is awesome. This is going to be our last question, and it is a question that we always ask a lot of our guests. But if someone is just starting out, what's the one piece of advice you would give them about launching a niche-focused live selling business?
Don't give up. Take your time. It takes time to get the clients there, but they'll come. They'll find you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And also go to shows that might be selling what you want to sell, and watch them, engage with them, friend people that seem to have the same interests. Because like when I go into a show that has Breyers in it, I'll pay attention to who's asking about the horses, and I will go and follow them right away, because then you're finding your people. And you just, patience is the biggest thing, and don't give up. Even if you just have one or two people in your show, say, hey, can you spread the word to your friends, you know.
Love that.
But yeah.
You know, I'm still trying to figure out how Michigan Grail Seekers found us, because we ain't sold a Breyers or a horse.
Through a raid train.
Must have been a raid train.
It was Great Lakes Storage Raider. He said that because we got to know him pretty well, because he doesn't live that far from us, so we hang out with him quite a bit and stuff.
Awesome family.
And it was he was doing a raid train, and I can't remember if he said you guys were raiding him or he was raiding you guys. Anyways, that's kind of how we found you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
All I heard from across the room was something about bong. And I'm like,
yes.
What are you watching?
Yeah. There it is.
There it is.
Well, now it's time that we're going to talk about what's new in the world of live reselling.
Yes. These are probably our hardest things to come up with, because we do these on a weekly basis. So some of the stuff that you may or may not have heard. Okay. One of the things is there's another selling platform called the District, and the District recently launched an analytics summary for their sellers. Believe it or not, they didn't have an analytics for their sellers for a while. They just did that one. After you guys do your shows, do you look at your analytics, and what are you looking for if you do?
Honestly, I don't even pay attention to them.
Okay.
I mean, I look at, we'll do our orders, like right after our show, we'll pull up the computer and then we'll just start packing stuff and shipping stuff. And I really don't pay attention to that part of it, because like I said, for us, it's more of a let's have fun thing than it is how much money do we make.
We
You know,
live
and-
out in the middle of nowhere,
and
so this is our social
when-
time.
when we do a Breyer horse show, and when we start to bid on a horse, we know if that horse sells for that dollar amount. If it's a higher dollar amount, we know we're at least going to break even, and we know that on some of them we're going to make money. So when we do a show, we already know that at the end of the Breyer show we're going to be on the plus side of things. So
Right.
honestly, I really don't go back and look at any of that stuff because
Okay.
that's not important to me.
A quick question on the shipping part of that. You are selling model horses.
Yep.
Is your shipping complicated, or how do you go about to ensure? I'm assuming you haven't had any broken, because I saw you
No.
shaking your head right away.
Well, and the part about that is with Betsy doing custom models that she does,
Mhm.
she'll pack a $5 horse the same as she'll pack a $500 horse. So it doesn't matter how much you pay for your horse. It's getting the same packing as an expensive horse. And even if you go back and look at our reviews, people are like, I cannot believe how well these were packed for a $5 horse. Or some people even we've sold some other stuff and they'll come back and say, your stuff was packed better than glass I buy on here. You
Wow.
know, and so
Yeah.
You have to pack
She's-
customs a very particular way,
so
and
the
we've been doing it for so long
Right.
too that my only issues with learning the shipping was just learning how, the how of it, and it really wasn't
Right.
that hard.
so
The only real issue that I have is we ended up having a Canadian buyer in a show, and she bought like 14 horses.
Yeah.
And so
and
the box was huge, the weight was huge, and I was able to make an adjustment, and I really had to struggle to find someone to tell me what to expect, because I didn't want to hit that purchase a label and then walk into something blind, but I had to basically walk into something blind. But it turned out it was a lot easier than I expected for the customs labels.
Okay.
I just did it on my computer as opposed to doing the laser printing.
Mhm.
But the only thing I couldn't change was the weight of the item. I couldn't reduce the weight, which is weird. I had to keep the weight at
because what we learned with the foreign people, and I didn't realize that, anybody can buy no matter where they're from.
Right.
Because like in eBay, you used to be able to say US only or whatever. The same with Facebook and the other places, we can designate it to whatever we want. And it was just weird when we went to ship, and I'm like, whoa, what's this? But they don't get any type of combined shipping on theirs. So
I've heard that it's brutal.
Everything she bought. So she bought one model and it was 1 to 2 pounds. She paid the full amount of shipping for every single one she bought. Her shipping was just, I was like, whoa.
It was insane.
And
but the bonus with her, I was able to individually box each horse.
Right.
And that helped me make up that weight that I was, because the weight was, it was only like a 5-pound box, but the weight showed it was like 11 pounds. And it's like, why am I not able to reduce that to the more?
Right.
But
I ended up just giving her excellent packing because she got the individual.
I think that's one of the downfalls with Whatnot shipping is that if you are on a show and you're buying multiple things, and if I can get it to a cheaper amount, Whatnot should be refunding that money to the customer.
Well, that's a great one because here's what's new.
Yes. Whatnot has rolled out what they're calling a closed beta of allowing some sellers to use other shipping platforms and do those shipping adjustments. It is not an open beta yet, so it's just very selected people that are doing it. But I would say in the months and years or however long ahead, that will be coming. But they are just kind of slowly working on it right now.
Right.
That would be an awesome one to be in on just because of the weight of our item.
And we use Pirate Ship for the other platforms, and we love Pirate Ship, but I don't know. And even when we do the Breyer show, we don't do the reduced shipping on it, just because for that reason, if somebody came in and bought 14 horses from us and they were in California from Michigan, we know how much it costs to ship. Because we ship horses all the time outside of this platform. So I was like, yeah, we got to do the, where once they hit their 5 pounds, it's got to reset, because I can't have someone from California buying 14, 15 horses. And then all of a sudden we're eating all this money.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because we had a question on this one and I blew it because I already asked it.
Right. Well, one thing, I'm going to interject this first. Anybody who's worried about shipping internationally on Whatnot, I will say we've sold 14,500 items. I've shipped 4 items to Canada. Yeah. So it's not coming up that often.
It really was easy. I just wanted to know, my one complaint about Whatnot is when you want to deep dive into something and find out like every aspect of something, you don't get that. You just get basically just a surface answer, and it's like, I need to know this side of it, because
the when best you ask answers about come from other sellers.
Yes, we ship foreign. It's like, that doesn't answer my question. I need to know what the forms look like. What can, if I push this button, can I backtrack and get out of it? Because I don't like.
We are looking to try to get somebody from Whatnot on this show, and if that happens, we're
going to ask for questions from our.
We're actually even thinking about doing a live, and if we did, then people would be able to ask them questions on that. We are now to the shine the light portion of our show, where we spotlight live resellers on 3 different levels based on sales and followers. And we do look at sellers on all platforms, even though these sellers are all on Whatnot. And you may or may not know some of these sellers.
Our new seller of the week is, her name's Tina. Her name on Whatnot is Tina in the Wild. She sells on Whatnot. Yes. Do you?
Do you?
Yeah,
we know Tina. Awesome. Yeah. She has had 279 sales, and she has 1.9 thousand followers, and she sells to help fund her dog rescue efforts, mostly in the jewelry and like the gemstones category.
Yes.
And she lives probably about 5 miles away from us.
Yes, she lives very close. That's how
very close to us
kind of started talking to her.
I've been in a couple of her shows.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We met her through JJ.
Okay.
That's great. We met her through JJ too on one of the Ray trains.
We met her through Gwen's Vintage Kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. She came in on one of the Ray trains, and ever since then, she's been coming into all our shows. Our growing seller, and we have to apologize for us taking this long to get you on here, Shane, but it is Shane, a large wing nut. I don't know if you guys know Shane. He sells on Whatnot. He has 12.7 thousand sales and 7.4 thousand followers. He sells mostly in women's contemporary, but he also sells on a lot of different categories. And he is the conductor of some of the funnest Ray trains on
that
Whatnot.
We've ever done. Yes.
He is an individual that if you ever seen him, you would just fall in love with this man. He is an incredible seller.
And I will say, last year we did something called the T-shirt battle, which was, how many people were in that? 20 sellers were in that. He was the one person that I was just praying we didn't have to go up against.
Yeah. When we did the graphic T-shirt battle, which we do a graphic T-shirt battle every one a month. And we're doing one, as a matter of fact.
I'm gathering my T-shirts.
I love that. Right. I love
that. So far, I'm undefeated in this month.
Yeah, I've seen those. Hey,
shows. I said. So we're going to be battling Kristen, a Rural Squirrel, this Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So if you want to check that one out.
And then for our established seller this week, it is Brooke, who is Shop 801 Lane. She sells on Whatnot, and she has had 63,500 sales, and she has 57,600 followers. She mostly sells in storage units, estates, and pallet liquidation, sells a lot of ladies' clothes, a lot of just whatever she finds. And I'm going to interject this because Brian didn't mention this. She has the sexiest voice on Whatnot.
I thought I had the sexiest voice on Whatnot. Obviously not. Also, tonight, on the primetime spotlight Ray train, She's rating us.
I know.
Oh,
We're excited about that. All right. So those are our three sellers right there. You knew Tina in the Wild. Did you know Shane Large Wingnut?
I've seen him in your shows, but I've never been to his shows.
Okay.
And how about Shop 801 Lane, Brooke?
I think we might have been in their show once on a raid train.
Definitely check them out if they're on Battle of the Best this month. She always brings fire.
She does.
Absolute fire.
And there will be links down below to all three of these awesome sellers. Go ahead and please give them a check. Give them a follow. Follows are free. And check them out. See if they are to your liking or that. We are now down to the Turn the Tables portion of our show, where we allow our amazing guests to ask Tracy any question that they would like about Jack's treasures.
About
it could
reselling,
be anything,
whatnot,
reselling,
or
whatnot,
just
whatever
something you want to
we
know.
do, or anything that you want to know about us. We've gotten a gambit of questions on these.
There you go. So, obviously, how long have you guys been doing Whatnot?
It will be 3 years in July.
Okay, and I go into your shows quite a bit, and
Thank you.
You guys sell a little bit of everything. What do you think is your favorite thing to sell?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Well, I can tell you my
thing.
non-favorite thing to sell is what Tracy puts together bundles for me, and I have like 20 minutes to show the damn things, and I got to pull out a bundle of 50 things. My favorite thing to sell by far is video games, because I know video games. I play video games. I grew up playing Pong. I mean, the very first video game that basically came out. And so it's one of those things that, like, for your Breyers collection, it's one of those things that I absolutely adore selling.
Mine is probably when I do my plush shows, which is what I have back here. And it's just because it's fun to talk to the people about the plush, and people have a story, and this was their favorite when they were a kid, and their son loves this one and this, that, and the other. I find that a lot of fun. If I had access to unlimited plush, I would probably be a plush seller.
Yeah. And we're trying to actually branch off and get into jewelry and coins and things like that. We do have a lot of them from storage units, because we buy storage units. And so that's where we're trying to find a little bit of a niche, and you get into that. Right. I love comic books, and I would love to sell comic books, but we've had 3 shows, and I've sold 3 comic books in those 3 hour of our shows. So,
and 2 of them were to a very good friend, and I'm pretty sure it were pity buys.
Oh, I'm almost promising that they were, promising that they were. Well, thank you to our amazing guests, Steven and Betsy from Michigan Grail Seekers. Yes. Our guest next week has not, we haven't gotten one committed quite yet. We're trying to get either Nikki from Nikki's Corner, or
that'd be a good one.
Chris Chernock of Chernock's Connections. Yeah, thank you. We've reached out to both of them to see which one of them would love to come on to our show. Thanks to Steven and Betsy. Again, we got to meet them, guys.
I know, it was so much fun.
It was so cool because they drove to meet us. They were going down to, originally you were going down to Florida, and then they ended up going down to South Georgia. And we're in sort of like up by Atlanta area, a little west of Atlanta, and they drove out of their way to come and meet us. And it was just an amazing dinner that we had, and meeting them was it was fascinating. And that's how this show actually came about, because of how fascinating they were, and lots of great information.
So one final question for you guys. What does the future hold for Michigan Grail Seekers?
We actually want to do more Breyer shows.
Okay.
Right now we're doing 1 a month, and we're hoping we would like to get into doing maybe 3 a month, and just to grow it more. But
right now I'm in creative mode, getting ready for Breyer Fest. So I'm in the Artisan Gallery, which is like a special invitation to sell my customs in the conference room, and you have to apply to do that.
That is awesome.
Betsy, do you have any of your artwork handy?
Yeah.
No, go ahead and show this, guys.
Yeah,
you're going to be fascinated by this. We actually bought one of these.
those are.
I'll just hand some over.
Okay.
These are all ones she's painted.
So this is a reposition.
Look at that.
The original model is standing 4 square with its head turned and his tail is down.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I repainted him to that pretty red.
That's the Petoskey.
Look
Here's
at
the
that.
Petoskey stone.
Oh, the shine on that. That's
Oh, there's
so
the stone
beautiful,
right there
yes.
that we have right back
So
there.
Yep.
I don't know if you can get the details there, but that's a Petoskey stone pattern on a plastic horse. It is not made of stone.
And this was a
Sure
total
looks like it.
reposition one.
Oh, here's a large example of that stone.
Oh, that is awesome. That is native to Michigan, correct?
Native to Michigan, yes.
There you go.
Show that one first. Though.
Okay.
This is
So this
Brighty.
this is the Breyers mold, and this is the model Mischief. So that's the
Oh,
paint
wow.
job. And this is what I turned it into.
I can't even imagine.
So
Oh
same-
my gosh.
She had to cut it all up.
Same
Rebuild it.
model,
Wow.
but I had to cut the back legs and free them and open them up and then resculpt
That is
this whole area
incredible.
in here. Turned the ears to a playful floppy ears and
Now she did all of that,
Repainted
guys,
it.
by the way. Okay, you cannot get that anywhere.
no,
She
that's
did
a
that.
one-of-one.
And you draw,
Hi.
and you draw too, correct?
Yes.
yes.
And we are gonna start going into the art category a little
Yeah, I
bit.
try to break into
Mhm.
the
Just-
art category, which means I have to do flat work too. So
These are flat works.
this is a
Look at
pen and
that.
ink drawing.
Wow.
And I know
Um,
their art is quite often available in their Buy It Now and
Oh,
whatnot.
okay. You run
Okay,
that,
that's
and we're buying it.
cute.
Okay.
Okay.
Cats.
And then
horses.
horses are my specialty, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, just different flat work. I also have some this one is,
This is-
Jay Lucas's favorite.
Judas Priest.
So I drew this.
Oh my god.
Oh my
I
God.
drew that
That is
when I was in high
insane.
school. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do hyper realistic. And then
Uh-huh.
Wow.
this is one of the Michigan lighthouses. So just all kinds of fun stuff.
And then she
Wow. And that's some
takes her
talent.
prints and make
Yeah, I made
cards out
make
of
the
them.
card.
Note
I
cards.
also, on the back, I don't know why my logo is a bird. It should be a horse, but I just did a little bird. And then there's like a description of what the print is and when I did it. So
So guys, make sure that you are following Michigan Grail Seekers on Facebook and on whatnot, and we're going to be posting all of those links down there. Go ahead and show that hat because we've seen this and it is awesome.
sorry, the light's bad on it, but this this horse was not drawn by me. It was drawn by my best friend who passed away a
Mhm.
couple of years ago. And Tiny, the artist who is on Whatnot, painted this hat for me. It's number 14. She signed it. She even made a little Michigan on
Awesome.
there. And this was a gift from the awesome Great Lakes Storage Raider and family. Turning my
Wow.
friend's hat or my friend's drawing into this hat that I'm going to wear to Breyer Fest. And I use this image as my logo as a tribute to my friend who I miss dearly.
That is incredible.
That is just incredible.
We'd like to thank you guys
Yeah.
too for having us here.
Yeah.
And it was
No,
so
it was
awesome.
No,
it was a
it was
joy.
it was.
So
It
absolutely
really,
awesome
really
seeing
was.
you guys in person.
Yep.
That was amazing. We love meeting them. We're going to meet them again. There's absolutely
Oh, yeah.
zero
Absolutely.
doubt.
Maybe in Tennessee in the
Yes,
fall
Yes.
that would be awesome.
And I even
Yeah.
said something to JJ because when we left and came back, so we left Georgia Monday at 3:00
Mhm.
and we were in Detroit at 9 a.m. I drove straight through. We called JJ and we're like, she sent JJ a message and goes, "Hey JJ, how about a little meetup real quick?" And she's like, "Weren't you just in Tennessee?" We're like, "Yeah, but we're half hour from your house." So,
Wow.
and because we bought her one of those Bucky
Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
onesies and we were dropping it off to her with some other stuff from Bucky's, but we were telling her about the meetup in Tennessee, and she goes, "Oh, that sounds fun. That's not that far." So
that's not.
That would be awesome.
It would be great if you're just watching
He's
right
gonna
now.
put a link to that down below,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
I'll put a link down there below to the Northeast Tennessee meetup hosted by the guys over there at Reseller Locker Room.
Mhm.
They're another podcast that are amazing. They're great. We're actually sponsors for that giveaway twice.
For the meetup,
we actually sponsored with this podcast, and we sponsored with Jack's Treasures. So everybody, thank you for watching. If you could, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button that is over there, and hit that notification button, and you'll know whenever we launch a new video, which for the podcast, they come out every single Sunday at noon. Fingers crossed that I actually get the times right, which I think I'm getting them right now. And thanks again to Steven and Betsy, Michigan Grail Seekers. We absolutely love them. And if you get a chance to meet them, don't pass up. Peace out from Jack's Treasures.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.